Hello again, friends, and welcome to another segment here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. So as you can see by my outfit, by the table, welcome to the Super Bowl edition here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. Before I even get started, I want to make it clear, I know the Eagles are not in the Super Bowl. I sat right here in this spot a couple days before the Super Bowl last year, got all pumped up, and we came up just a little short. And this year, guess what? We're not even going to talk about that for this season. So I just wanted to come on today, this is Super Bowl Saturday, to give you just, not that you need my help, but my thoughts on what you might want to do at your Super Bowl gathering, party, whatever you're going to be doing tomorrow. So I just want to talk about some of the things that you might be looking to imbibe, some of the things you might be looking to eat, and maybe give you a few tips here on how to organize all that and have a good time tomorrow. So before we do that, I want to, that's not a sound you hear on here too often, because I really don't talk about beer. In over 100 spots, I've only done one spot with beer. But to be honest with you, I don't know how you can do a Super Bowl party, a true Super Bowl party, and not somehow have some beer included. So cheers. And welcome to a very short and simple segment here today on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review to get you ready for the Super Bowl. So basically, I think when you're looking at the Super Bowl, I talk about all of the holidays with you. Talk about your Thanksgiving dinner, which is kind of tradition, your Christmas dinner, a lot of tradition, Easter, barbecues, cookouts in the summer. Pretty much there's kind of a stock kind of menu that you're preparing. When the Super Bowl parties break out, all bets are off. You're looking at nachos. They could be the main course. You're looking at pizza. You're looking at Mexican food. You're looking at maybe barbecue, depending on where you live. You could be somewhere where it's warm enough to do a barbecue today. That's not happening here. It could be a cookout, especially for those of you from the warmer parts of the country. It could cover the whole spectrum. So as far as all the foods go, let's just say all of the food, generally, you're not going to be going out for filet mignon at a Super Bowl party. You could, but my guess is 99% of the time, that's just not happening. You're probably going to be dealing with some pizza, some nachos, lots of salty food, lots of real good comfort food, burgers, fries, potato chips, nuts, peanuts, pretzels. I even put some of those here on the table in case I get hungry, which I am, so that you can just, given that you're going to have a wide range of food possibilities, that allows you to have such a wide range of beverage possibilities. Now, if you don't want to drink it all, that's fine. But I'm suggesting to you, I haven't been to one Super Bowl party since I've been able to have a Super Bowl party or attend one. I've been to them, held them, not gone to one, just done one at home. Quiet weekend here, we're just going to be the two of us. But if you're going to be going to a party tomorrow, any one of the things that I have here on the table could assist you and help you out if you're either throwing a party or if you're going to one. So kudos to the Reading Brewery, still going strong, not the original brewery. But this glass is part of my collection. Good beer. I'm a beer drinker. I know I don't talk about it a lot. And as you get older, the beer tends to stick here a little bit more quickly than the wine and the spirits. But I do like a good beer every now and then. This one happens to be a Founders All Day IPA called the Session Ale. I'm not really here to push any particular beer on you, but this one is only a 4.7 ABV. So you can have a couple of these and not worry about getting uninterested in the game too quickly. So the beer, and let me start with that. Beer would go, this is all you would need. I've been to Super Bowl parties where it's beer. That's it. And guess what? That beer will cover everything. Beer is good that way, especially for those kind of comfort foods. I don't think anybody's going to say, I don't feel like pairing that beer with that pizza. Or I don't feel like pairing that beer with that bowl of chips. Or I don't feel like pairing that beer with those great nachos. So beer's going to cut it. If all you want to do tomorrow is go buy a case of beer, if you have a bunch of friends over, knock yourself out. Buy your favorite beer and have a good time. For me personally, I like to have options when I'm at a party. So the options that I'm going to present to you today are going to keep it very simple. So I'm going to start with the lowest alcohol content, and that's beer. So we've already talked about that. Beer can, actually I love the sound of that pour. Beer just works. So does wine. And I put 3 bottles of wine on the table. Not really going to talk about them. But if you're going to serve a white wine, because all 3 colors of wines, all 3 styles of wines will go. I would just stay away from the sweet ones again, unless you have a person there who's just broken into wine and you want to get a bottle of Moscato or something, or a white Zin for them. You'll never hear me, everybody says, oh, white Zin, like, No, if your party is first-time drinkers or people who don't drink a lot and they want something a little sweeter, meet them where they are. Get them something that they want. But for me, I would recommend this Sauvignon Blanc of all styles, which will go. This one happens to be one from California that I love very much. It's actually aged in a barrel a little bit, gives it a little bit more smoothness. I would definitely say a rosé, and if you go for a rosé, it can be any kind of rosé. The lighter, the better. A Provençal style, where you have a blend of 3 or 4 grapes, like Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, a little bit of Cinsault maybe, and get yourself a good rosé. It doesn't have to cost you a lot. And finally, for some of those people that just can't go without a red wine for the day, I would recommend a Pinot Noir. And I would say, if you have to have a Pinot Noir for someone, get them one from the Willamette Valley. I think overall the quality of the Pinot Noirs from the Willamette Valley is second to none, especially when you add in the price point that you can get them at. So there you have 3 different wine recommendations, and then you can riff off of these if you want to have an Albarino, if you want to have a light Chardonnay, if you want to do a rosé of a different style, like a Pinot Noir rosé, if you want to do another light red wine, like a Grenache, or a fruitier wine. Grenache isn't really light, or other red blends that you might want to try. Some people like them big. Get them as Zinfandel. It's big and fruity. They're great for barbecues. That's the style you're doing. So those are my wine recommendations for you. I'm not here today to say you got to go get, Ferrari Carano Fume Blanc 2022. Forget that. That's not what you do at a Super Bowl party. A Super Bowl party is about cheering, having a good time, and if you're not into the game, then you can be into the food and the beverage. It's always a good thing, especially when your team is not in the game. I'm not even going to talk about that. That's almost like talking about politics. My team bowed out this year way too soon, but still got to love them. So finally, in front of my autographed old style Eagles football, for those of you that saw those Kelly Green uniforms this year, this is a football from a 1996 training camp that I got to go to, signed by, for you Eagle fans that remember, our rookie quarterback that year, Bobby Hoying. He didn't last very long. You probably don't even recognize his name. If you do, mention it in the comments. However, what I'm over here to talk to you about is how to simplify your bar should you have a crowd that likes to have a little cocktail during the game. And I'm going to narrow it down to 4 alcohols, 4 spirits that you can use. I'm not going to talk about mixers. Did that the last time. Got to get your mixers on your own. But for me, I'm going to say to you, you don't want to be without a vodka. For your people that just want, could be a vodka martini. It could be a Cosmopolitan. It could be a vodka and tonic, something very simple. Then you want to get yourself a nice bourbon. This is a bourbon that's not readily available. I love this one. Can't get this one in Pennsylvania. It's very hard. Buffalo Trace. But bourbon allows you to get involved in a whole host of drinks. Boulevardier. You can do a Manhattan with bourbon. You might want to throw a rye in too if you have somebody that's really into rye. So then you can go, I don't think you can have a Super Bowl party without tequila, especially because it goes great with like Mexican style food and you're going to get into some nachos. that salt and everything that goes with it. I like Rey Pasado tequila. Goes fantastic with a margarita, with a Paloma, and other drinks. If you're so inclined to want to do shots during the game, I don't really like to do shots of bourbon, but you could drink your bourbon neat, drink it out of a glass. If you just want to have a little bit to drink, tequila drinks, which I just mentioned. And then finally, on the other side here, we have my big buddy. He is the Blue Coat American Dry Gin. And gin allows you to do a bunch of things at a party with different cocktails. If you want to throw in some spirits, you can do Negronis, you can do martinis. You can simply do a gin and tonic. This is one drink that I never recommend that you do straight. Gin is just that, or vodka. They're both that kind of drink that just need a little, because they're kind of a neutral grain spirit. So they always need a little bit something. Now, if you get a barrel-aged gin or these flavored vodkas, then you can knock yourself out. But we don't want to get too complicated for Super Bowl Sunday. You want people to come in, start munching on the pizza, start munching on the chips, start digging into the nachos, and that your bar is one that they will be happy to have in front of them. So I don't know who you're rooting for tomorrow. I don't really have a rooting interest in this game. I'm just very disappointed that my birds aren't in the game. So I can honestly tell you, I have no preference. I just hope that the refs don't sway it one way or the other. I guess that's my only hope for the game, that it's a good game, hopefully keeping people excited, that it's not a blowout. Beyond that, I'm looking forward to the 2024 season, and hopefully I'm sitting here in 2025 and telling you, let's go Birds again. So until then, cheers, have a safe, drink responsibly, and have a wonderful time if you get to a Super Bowl party, or have a wonderful time no matter what you're doing tomorrow to celebrate America's great football game, Super Bowl. So until we talk again, cheers and go Birds.